Good morning. It's really nice to see a great crowd here today. Welcome to this week's press conference. Today, we're going to discuss 8 items. First, we'll provide an update on the Love Your Block program. Second, we'll introduce the Stormwater Credit Advisory Committee to you. Third, we'll present the Summer Street paving schedule. Fourth, we'll showcase this Saturday's Arbor Day event. Fifth, we'll present a proclamation, a very special one. Sixth, we'll discuss the upcoming drug take-back event. And seventh, we'll announce finished compost pickup, which is starting next week. And eighth, we'll remind residents of the upcoming due dates for the city and county real estate tax payments. So last summer, Erie was selected as one of only 8 communities across the nation as a Love Your Block community. The Love Your Block initiative is administered by the Cities of Service, which is housed in the Bloomberg Center for Public Innovation. As part of the program grant award, Love Your Block covers the cost of a full-time Love Your Block fellow and 2 AmeriCorps Vista employees. These 3 people are here with us today, and they will work for 2 years to bring about real positive change in Erie neighborhoods and the neighborhoods that they serve. As a new Erie program, Love Your Block is a totally community-centered initiative. It will empower neighbors to take pride in their neighborhood by awarding mini-grants to resident volunteers for projects that spur change driven by the people who live there. Kathy Rosdick will first provide a brief overview of the Love Your Block program. Then, one of our 2 AmeriCorps Vista employees, Chloe Kernan, will talk about the events that are being planned and how residents can get involved to improve their neighborhoods. Kathy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. I can't tell you how excited I am to be talking about this program that we received award notification back in September. This is a real honor to have been selected as a Love Your Block community. It comes not only along with funding for our fellow, Gretchen Kerr, who's here with us today, and 2 Vistas, but it comes with funding for small mini-grant programs, which we are developing as we speak. Since we were awarded this honor, the planning department has been really hard at work developing the initiatives that we believe will help drive the mission and impact change that Love Your Block and the Bloomberg Center requires of this program. We have made a tremendous amount of progress over the past couple of months, and now we're really deep dive into some of these initiatives. We're happy to announce that we have a website dedicated to Love Your Block. It will be your guide to find out more about the programs as they're developed. This is also a location where those who would like to volunteer to help out in their community can do so. One of the things we really appreciated about the Love Your Block program is that it believes that engaged communities are more likely to take an active role in their neighborhoods and can act as a powerful force in preventing crime and eliminating blight. Even if you don't know where to start in getting more involved in your community, we need your feedback to help develop this program. We felt like this program really spoke to what we saw as a need in the city of Erie, working with residents to help address issues of blight and disinvestment. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. So the website, and Chloe will give you the address of the website. We also have social media going out so you can get more involved as we develop these programs. The mini-grant program, it will be the first initiative launched, but first we have an online survey because we do need to, this will be a program that's tailored to the needs of the residents who live in these neighborhoods. So we are asking all the residents who live in the areas of focus, and I'll go over the areas of focus, to fill out the survey. You'll have many opportunities to do that. Not only is it online, but you will see our AmeriCorps Vistas. So we have 2. Chloe's here, who will be speaking, and we also have Karen Reyes, who's also in the audience. They will be our outreach specialists. You will see them canvassing your neighborhoods. You'll see them at events. We encourage you, when you do spot the Love Your Block Vistas, to stop and talk to them, fill out the survey, and sign up to be a volunteer for many of the events that have been scheduled. The areas of focus, and we needed to start we wanted to start in some areas of need in the city. The reason that these areas, and I'll go over the three that we're starting with, the reason they were selected is because they traditionally don't have neighborhood groups that are advocating on their behalf. So we're using this program to help identify the local champions who live in those neighborhoods, who can help us determine what the needs are and how best to motivate not only the residents, but also what we can bring as far as resources to address those needs. So the three areas that we're starting out with in year one, in year two, we will add additional areas. So this is just our pilot year. The three areas and the names are as described in Erie Refocus, so some of you may know the names of these neighborhoods, some may not be familiar, but it's what the city's comprehensive plan, Erie Refocused, identified. And the three areas of focus are East Avenue, Pulaski Lighthouse area, which is the blocks. Sorry, my daughter's calling me. She always just decides to call me when I'm speaking. But this area is the blocks from East 6th to East 12th Street and East Avenue to Payne Avenue. Lakeside is the second area, which are the blocks from Lakeside Drive to East 12th, Gilson Avenue to Franklin Avenue. And then finally Marvintown, which are the blocks from East 26th to East 33rd, Parade Old French to Brandes Street. As I said, additional neighborhoods will be added in 2023, and we'll have additional funding for those neighborhoods also in 2023. Fortunately, and thanks to City Council and the administration, we have been able to double the amount of funding available for these programs thanks to an allocation of our ARP funding. So that will allow us to utilize these programs and have a much larger impact. Chloe is going to be with us this morning, and she's going to give an overview of all the ways that residents can get involved. But one of the first things that we're asking you to do is to take the About Your Block survey. We'll be able to use your feedback and learn about your experience on your blocks, the types of projects that would benefit you, your home and your block, parks and public spaces in your neighborhoods, as well as your level of interest in volunteering. As I mentioned, this is an important part of Love Your Block. It's not the city coming to neighborhoods and doing things on their own. It's doing them alongside the residents who live there, so we will need volunteers. If you see the vistas, if you see Gretchen, if you see Aaron Carey out in the neighborhood, please stop and take 10 minutes to complete the survey. The mini grant program will be available, should be up and running by June if we keep to our schedule, which we're trying to do. So we need your input now. Now I will turn it over to Chloe Kernan, who will share some upcoming events, how you can get more involved, how you can sign up, and how you can take the survey. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Hi, good morning, everyone. So, like Kathy said, activating these resident volunteers and that basic interest is the main priority for the Love Your Block program right now. And to do this, Love Your Block has planned events and volunteer opportunities to get more people involved and to promote the program a little bit. We've already done some local community things such as cleanups with the Boys and Girls Club that happened on Tuesday, and attended some neighborhood watch meetings to kind of get a feeling and feedback from residents on the program. So upcoming events this weekend, actually Saturday, April 30th, is the Global Youth Service Day, hosted by the Youth Leadership Institute. This day is an opportunity for students to be sent out to different sites around Erie to do volunteer work. And Love Your Block will be there in the morning from 8 to 9 during the registration period to table and pass out information. So you'll be able to see us there. And that will be at ECAT. And you can go to our website, cityof.erie.pa.us/loveyourblock under volunteer to learn more about this opportunity. Also this Saturday, April 30th, the Academy Neighborhood Association will be doing another neighborhood cleanup. It was rescheduled from last weekend to this weekend, and it will be at 2 locations. The first is the Tool Lending Library at Maker Park, and the other at Baker Field, and this will be going on from 9 a.m. to 11, and there will be cleanup supplies available on site. And again, you can go to our website under volunteer to learn more. Throughout the summer, and especially in June, please keep your eye out for grant application workshops. Those will be scheduled, and once our mini grants go live, we will have these workshops to help facilitate and really explain the process of completing the application, to help interested applicants, that sort of thing. And then, like Kathy said, that these mini grants provide great opportunities for neighbors and residents to team up to work on projects that are important to them and that they choose. So some of these projects may be minor exterior home improvements, beautifying, repurposing vacant lots, remove graffiti, clean up litter, illegal dumping, or planting new flowers, landscaping, and this can be on both public and private spaces. So the Love Your Block team is also here to help connect residents to vital city services and resources to enhance and help sustain the ongoing work that's happening in these communities. So really the next big step, like Kathy said, is getting feedback and getting responses. So if you, a family member, or someone else you know, live in or around our 2022 focus areas, we really encourage you to share the program and take some time to complete our survey. And again, to learn more, our website is city.erie.pa.us/loveyourblock. And there'll be you can go under survey tab to complete our survey and volunteer to learn more about our upcoming events. And you can also now follow the Love Your Block journey on social media, both Instagram and Facebook, and our handle is Love Your Block Erie. There will be volunteer opportunities throughout the summer for anyone who wants to get involved in some form with this program. We're really looking forward to this opportunity, getting it out to residents, so this summer we can all be loving our blocks together. So thank you.
Oh, you could stay up on the stage. You don't have to run away. We'd like everybody to stick around because you may want to be interviewed when you get back here. So thank you, Kathy and Chloe. I really appreciate the amazing work that you are doing with Love Your Block. This is going to really, I feel it's going to transform Erie neighborhoods. So I really, really appreciate that. And this is very exciting, what's going on here. So one more comment I must make before we move on this is probably one of Kathy Rosnick's last press conferences with us. I think most of you know she'll be leaving towards the end of May. Much of what my team and I have accomplished to move Erie forward is a direct result of Kathy's hard work and the planning leadership that she's provided that the city never had before. I know that this decision to leave Erie was not an easy one for you, Kathy, but I'm sure that we will stay in touch. You can come back to visit and follow Erie's progress going forward. We have launched a national search and are working hard to find a very well-qualified, hardworking new planning director for the city of Erie, and hope to have that person in place a week or two at least before Kathy leaves. That's going to be a lot of effort to make that happen, but that's what we're working towards. Kathy, we really appreciate all you've done for the city of Erie and hope we can stay in touch for many years to come. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Next, we're going to provide a quick update on where we are with stormwater management. The city embarked on a stormwater feasibility study with Wood Consulting nearly 3 years ago. Since then, a lot of work has gone into analyzing our stormwater system, dealing with our aging infrastructure, and marketing data-driven recommendations. Unfortunately, our underground infrastructure is out of sight and therefore out of mind. Many Erie residents do not know how many of our 100-plus-year-old old clay storm pipes are crumbling literally underground. Previously, the administration did not have adequate funding in order to address aging infrastructures in previous administrations. But we are now at a point where we have no choice. We can no longer put stormwater management on the back burner. We have to deal with it. We're using about $11 million of the ARP funding to address our highest priority issues to prevent catastrophic failures like what happened last summer at 5th and Wayne Street, where we had to spend over $1.5 million to repair a collapse in the stormwater pipeline. My team and I really believe that we need to implement a fee to create a sustainable system for generations to come. It will be an equitable system that spreads all the burden, but over all property owners, including nonprofits and businesses. So, while it's hard for people to get excited about infrastructure, what we are doing here is going to be truly transformational for the Erie community. Last fall, we advanced recommendations to City Council for a stormwater fee to fund a program to shore up our stormwater system. But before they were ready to pass such a fee, Council wanted to see the credit policy and the appeals process. So we have created the Credit Advisory Committee that is being facilitated by Wood Consulting. The deadline for people to apply was back on April 1st, and we actually had our first meeting this Monday, April 25th, with them. The Credit Advisory Committee plays a very important role in developing the city's stormwater, utility fee, credit policies, and appeals process. In general, a credit is a fee reduction to the specific ratepayer in recognition of improvements they made to the on-site stormwater structures that reduce the cost of public stormwater services. A credit recognizes that ongoing operation and maintenance of a water quality and or flood control practices can reduce the cost of public stormwater services in the long term. A credit can also incentivize private investment to improve stormwater quality and reduce flooding. The appeals process is designed to ensure that property owners have a means for appealing a fee if there was an error in the billing process or an error in the ownership of the property itself. The mission of the Credit Advisory Committee is to first provide constructive feedback to the city regarding a credit policy and appeals process. Second, to think critically about trade-offs in three areas. First, the city's overall need for such changes. Second, the health of our environment. And third, the needs of our property owners. Now, I'm very happy to announce that 14 people are now serving on the Stormwater Credit Advisory Committee, and here's who they are. First is Ryan Campbell, a Mill Creek Township resident with a BS in Civil and Structural Engineering. He's a construction manager at Erie Insurance with LEED credentials. Next is Thomas Cermak, a Green Township resident with a BS in Environmental Science and an MS in Community and Economic Development. He's a watershed restoration planner, and planning specialist with Pennsylvania Sea Grant. Third is Dusty Dennis, a city resident, and she's the executive director of the Housing Authority of the City of Erie. She formerly worked with McKean County Housing and Redevelopment Authority when Bradford needed to implement their stormwater fee. Fourth is Laura Gunshin, a city resident who works in commercial real estate development with the Erie Management Group. Laura was formerly a legislative staffer and a member of a zoning hearing board. Fifth is Joseph Hudson, a city resident and environmental engineer, a conservation scientist, and watershed specialist. Sixth is Mark Klecker, a city planning commission representative. Seventh is Sherry Sam Mason, a city resident with a PhD in chemistry. She has been an environmental chem professor for over 20 years, a freshwater plastic pollution researcher, and director of sustainability at Penn State Barron. Eighth is Jake Rao, who's representing the Erie Regional Chamber of Commerce Growth Partnership and has a degree in urban planning. Ninth is Brenda Sandberg, a Venango Township resident and director of the Erie Western PA Port Authority with degrees in both geography and environmental studies, with a concentration in urban and regional analysis. 10th is Cassandra Sheldon Schreck, a Fairview resident with an MS in environmental health and engineering. She is an environmental health and safety manager for Berry Global. 11th is Daniel Snyder Graham, a former city resident who now resides in Summit Township. Daniel serves as a construction review tech with Rutger Milkel Infrastructure and Civil Engineering. 12th is David Yerlich, a city resident for 38 years of electric utility engineering and operations management experience. Most recently, he's at Penelec. 13th is Sarah Whitkin, a city resident with a BS in environmental geology, minor in environmental studies and climatology, research tech, regional science consortium, and water treatment tech at William T. Spader. Last is Leon Jackson, a local plumber and contractor. So these 14 committee members are actively participating in the 6-month process we're going through. We had a great first meeting on Monday, and we discussed, first, our stormwater challenges that we're facing. Second, stormwater utility rate structure as it exists currently. Third, the role of credit policy. Fourth, the purpose of the credits. Fifth, consideration of designing the credit policy. And finally, the role of the appeals process. Wood Consulting is planning 3 more 2.5-hour meetings. At the second meeting, we'll review and discuss credit tools available to the city. They'll also understand trade-offs and considerations associated with each of the credit approaches, explore how other localities in Pennsylvania and beyond have implemented credit policies, and discuss what should be included in Erie's credit policy. The third meeting will include the following: reviewing draft credit and appeals policies, sharing thoughts about the draft policies and identifying outstanding questions, discussing options on how to deal with special circumstances that might exist. The fourth and final meeting will include reviewing proposed changes to the credit and appeals policies, sharing thoughts about the final draft of the policies, reviewing draft manuals and forms for clarity and ease of use, and also determining the next steps in the policy development and adoption program. Once complete, Wood Consulting will prepare the credit policy and appeals process and accompanying manuals to present to the City Council this coming fall. We really thank this group of volunteers for stepping up to serve. We look forward to working with them over the next several months. We're very grateful for their interest, their engagement, and their stewardship. Now, we're going to move on to announce the summer paving schedule. I'll turn it over to Chad McConnell from our Bureau of Engineering to present the 2022 paving schedule for the City of Erie. Chad, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Chad McConnell. I am a project engineer here at the City of Erie, and I have had some involvement in the city paving program the last couple of years. I want to start off by talking how we determine each street that we're going to do work on this for every year. Each year a list is compiled from each the Bureau of Streets, Bureau of Engineering, and Public Works. Then we sit down and meet together multiple times throughout the winter or early spring, and we literally rank the streets that we feel need work done from worst to best. Then we go through and we combine streets into different groupings depending on what type of work needs done or what type of funding we have. So this is our paving map that we do every year. I will send that to Frank. Frank will share that with our social media accounts. This year, I want to start talking for the Streets Department. For Streets Department this year, they have $650,000 of funding this year. Their paving will be broken into 3 parts. Part number 1 will be a 2-inch mill and resurface. Part number 2 will be a 4-inch mill and resurface. And part number 3 is a selective paving, where they will go and fix the bad areas of the roadway. But the entire street may not be resurfaced. Other than that, we have a project going on right now, the West 8th Street improvements. As many of you know, that's work from Pittsburgh Avenue to Green Garden Boulevard on West 8th Street. That involves new sidewalks, new lighting, and new green space. That will be likely to be paved this early fall. As far as new funding for contracted work, we have around $3.4 million. This work includes crack seal, curb ramp installation, and 4 paving contracts. For the 4 paving contracts, the first paving contract that we have, we got funding from a program called Local Federal Aid Routes. For that program, we have to apply, I think we applied for 7 different streets, and PennDOT comes in and drives over the roads and decides which ones we will get funding for. Other municipalities and townships also get funding for the same thing. So for that contract this year, we are doing a 2-inch mill and resurface for Cherry Street from West 18th to West 15th. That project will also include the use of PennDOT inspectors, and it is expected to be completed midsummer. Moving on, the city advertised and sent bid packages to contractors last Friday, April 22nd. There were a total of 3 contracts that were advertised. Contract number 1 and contract number 2 are both 2-inch mill and resurface projects. These contracts are hopeful to start by the end of this month, and the contractor will be closing streets down twice, once to mill and once to pave. Contract number 3 is a contract that we call full depth reclamation. During this contract, the contractor will grind the road to a depth of 8 inches. They will then shape the street back to the original intended height. There also may be work involved, including cutting the edges of driveways or straightening the street sides. You may also see stakes in yards and painted lines to help guide work crews of their limits. The goal of these limits is to retain the right-of-way back to where it originally was. After the final grade has been set, the contractor will go through and grind the top 6 inches, mixing in Portland cement into the roadway. Then those roads sit about for a week, and then the contractor will come back and pave 2 inches of asphalt over top of them. Lastly, a crack seal contract will be sent out in the upcoming weeks. For all these contracts, the local utilities were sent the paving list last week in hopes that they will start their work before we are scheduled to pave the roadway surface. All the work for the streets improvement project will include no parking signs, which will be posted a minimum of 72 hours in advance. There will also be an anticipated paving schedule sent out weekly and shared to the City of Erie's social media accounts. Please, if possible, avoid traveling the street if it is closed during our operation. It is extremely unsafe for both the driver and the workers to drive throughout the street when it is closed. We will try to keep any inconveniences to a minimum throughout the paving season. That is all I have.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Chad. We really appreciate it, and thanks for all the work you do, and we have other members of the team here as well. Thanks to all of you for what you're doing to keep Erie's streets in good shape. Next, we'd like to invite you to join the City of Erie's Urban Forest Committee, which is called Relief, at the Inner-City Neighborhood Art House, which is at 210 East 10th Street, to celebrate Arbor Day, the Arbor Day celebration, which is this Saturday. It's April 30th. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This celebration will highlight the importance of the trees that are in our community. There will be a free tree giveaway provided also at this event by Relief Initiative, and tree plantings and neighborhood art and event spaces will also be taking place. There will also be demonstrations of the woodworking, pruning, and mushroom growing, as well as crafts for kids, provided by the Neighborhood Art House and members of the Urban Forest Committee. I hope to see you there on Saturday. I'm proud, next we invite you to join Erie Urban's, sorry, I did that one already, didn't I? I'm a little confused. What's up there on the screen isn't what I have here. So I'm proud Erie is home to people from over 100 different countries. I'm very proud of that. And to celebrate them throughout this year with the help of New American Liaison Nika Nastari Carpenter. Today, I'm very excited to proclaim May as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month here in Erie. To accept the proclamation is Erie's APPA President, Amon Oberoi, Amon, would you please join me up here? So this is in recognition of the Asian Pacific American Month here in Erie. Whereas Erie's Asian community, who contribute to Erie culturally, spiritually, professionally, economically, and politically, has long been a vital part of the city. A greater understanding of the appreciation of the boundless diversity and variety of Asian cultures is essential to Erie's future as a world-class city. Whereas we, as a diversity, equity, and inclusion, will grow by the building stronger ties with the Asian community as we foster better relationships between people, cultures, and countries. Whereas Erie's Asian Pacific American Association, APAA, is a volunteer-led nonprofit which works to promote awareness of the diverse Asian Pacific cultures to the Erie community through educational and cultural events, such as the Asian Festival, the Taste of Asia, the Multicultural Asia Day, and activities at our schools and really throughout the whole community. Now, therefore, I, Joseph V. Schember, Mayor of the City of Erie, proclaim Erie May 22 as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month in the City of Erie. I encourage all citizens to celebrate the heritage of all of our residents. Our diversity makes us stronger. Amanda, now you can make a few comments.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Mayor. We at Erie APA are always very thankful for all your support to you and to your administration. A very good morning to all of you. My name is Amanpreet Oberoi. I am the current president of Erie APA, and in the audience we have Mrs. Sharmin Kundikar. She is the vice president of Erie APA, which stands for Erie Asian American Pacific Organization. So just like Mayor said, Erie APA is very much involved in the community. May being the Asian Heritage Month, so in celebration of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, Erie APA will be hosting a multicultural Asia Day at the Experience Children's Museum on May 7th of this year, and then the timings for that are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This will be our first flagship event. We have had a couple of other events, but this will be a very first of our flagship events, and in what has started to look like a post-COVID era. Like, we are still not there to call it post-COVID, but we are heading towards it at least. We are very excited about this. The aim of this celebration is to promote awareness of our diverse culture from Asia and Pacific Island regions in the community, which is home to people with roots from at least 16 different countries in Asia and Pacific Islands through these educational events and cultural events, just like the mayor mentioned before. So we host other events too, and to know more about our events, you can head on to our website, erieapaa.org, or check out our Facebook page. We are active on social media. We post all our forthcoming events. We'll be collaborating with other agencies, like we'll be collaborating with the libraries too, the local libraries, to celebrate history of Erie too. So to check out all those events, please check out our social media page as well. So erieapa.org, that's our website. Please visit that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amon. I always look forward to attending cultural events in Erie, and I'm excited to celebrate Asian Pacific American Heritage Month during the month of May. We appreciate everything that you and the Erie APAA do for our community. Next, we want to remind residents about the National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, which is this Saturday, April 30th. There's a lot going on Saturday. The event aims to provide a safe, convenient, and responsible way to dispose of prescription drugs and to teach people about the dangers of medication abuse. The Erie Police Department will conduct a drug take-back event this Saturday, April 30th. It'll go from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here in the City Hall lobby which is 626 State Street. Old, unwanted, and unneeded prescription medications are a huge public safety issue. Too often, they are a gateway to drug addiction. The majority of opioid addictions start with prescription pills found in medicine cabinets at home. Pharmaceutical drugs can be just as dangerous as street drugs when taken without a prescription or a doctor's supervision. The majority of people who misuse a prescription medication obtain the medicine from a family member or friend. Prescription drug take-back day events are one way to dispose of these unneeded and very dangerous medications. So please, go through your cupboards, bring in any unused medication this Saturday, April 30th, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. at City Hall here at 626 State Street. That's for Drug Take-Back event. More information can be viewed on the Erie Police Department's Facebook page, which can be found by searching at Erie Police Department. We are excited to announce that finished, ready-to-use compost will be available for pickup here in Erie starting next week. For all the gardeners like me, there are several giveaway sites where you can pick up free, high-quality compost. The compost is available each week on a first-come, first-served basis. On Thursdays, compost will be dropped off at the following West Side locations: Braybender Park, which is at West 21st and Emerson Avenue, and C. Francis Haggerty Park, which is at West 32nd and Shaper Avenue. And then on Fridays this summer, compost will be dropped off at the following East Side locations on Friday: Joseph Walzak Park, which is at East Grandview Boulevard and Allen Drive; Roger Young Park, which is 18th and Downing Avenue on the east side; and Wallace Street Playground, which is Front Street and Wallace Street. If you would like to know more about the city's resources that are available to you, please visit cityof.erie.pa.us and click on the Residents drop-down tab. Finally today, we have a quick reminder for real estate property taxpayers. The deadline to pay your city and your county real estate taxes at the 2% discount level is April 30th. For your convenience, the Treasurer's Office has 4 options for you to make your payment. First, use a credit card. You can do it right online just by going to cityof.erie.pa.us and click Make a Payment at the button on the bottom of the homepage. You can drop off your check in an outside payment box located right here at City Hall on the State Street entrance. If you would like a receipt, just submit the entire 2022 tax bill with your check payment. The Treasurer's Office will mail a receipt to you. For those tax bills submitted without the entire tax bill being included, your processed check is your receipt. Third way, you can mail your full payment with your tax bill to the City of Erie Treasurer at 626 State Street, Room 105, Erie, PA, 16501-1128. Finally, you can bring your payment to the Treasurer's Office, City Hall, Room 105, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. I'll take a deep breath because that concludes today's press conference. Everyone who spoke is now available for interviews. Please follow us on social media for the latest updates on everything that is happening in the city by searching City of Erie, PA on all major platforms. Thank you very much for being here, and thanks to all those who watched as well. Thank you.